Matthew Stafford may have found his new favorite weapon on offense. Again, I don't know how you guys are seeing this video because my whole channel is down. You guys all know what's going on. It's pretty much a mess right now. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. I have no idea what's going on in YouTube or Google or what they're trying to do. So if you guys are seeing this on DoseOfDion, that's a really good sign. If not, maybe you're seeing it somewhere else. Thank you for being here, but let's get right into the video. So Matthew Stafford has multiple new weapons to play around with, multiple new toys, you could say. Jesse James, TJ Hockenson, he's got the young wide receivers, he's got the two talented wide receivers, Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr. But this is a guy that's an old veteran. He's not going to give you crazy stats, but he's a guy that a lot of quarterbacks can count on, and a guy named Tom Brady was able to count on Danny Amendola as well. Yes, we are talking about Danny Amendola, the wide receiver that was with the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. At Miami, didn't really work out as well. He had some really good stats there, but I think they had a kind of too big of a role for Danny Amendola to fill for what he really is. But with the Patriots and Tom Brady, he was with Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia really liked Danny Amendola. He has a really good relationship with him, and that had a lot to do with why the Detroit Lions brought him in through free agency. It also had a lot to do because Golden Tate was traded, and they had to get some depth at that wide receiver position. Obviously, they've added some more of that through the draft with Travis Fulgham from Old Dominion. But Matthew Stafford may have a new relationship with Danny Amendola that is a really good relationship. Like I said, he's not going to give you the best numbers. He's not going to be the best wide receiver game in and game out. But what you're going to get is a consistent player that works very hard, that Matthew Stafford can count on kind of as a security blanket. So when you think of security blankets for quarterbacks, I usually think tight end. I think, okay, Jimmy Graham. Well, Jimmy Graham for Drew Brees. That's usually what I think, Gronkowski. When you talk about Matthew Stafford, this could be a guy in Danny Amendola, similar to what Tom Brady had, that is a security blanket for Matthew Stafford. Not going to give you the biggest yards, but he's there when you need him most. He reminds me of a guy named Anquan Boldin, who the Detroit Lions had a few years back. And Anquan Boldin was a guy that Matthew Stafford, again, could rely on. He came up in big moments. He made big plays. We've seen that from Danny Amendola with the New England Patriots. And for Anquan Boldin, he wasn't the best wide receiver. He wasn't going to give you the best numbers, but he was clutch, and he was there when Matthew Stafford needed him. If you can go back to when they played the Redskins and they were down, they needed a touchdown, down to 17-13. Late, they had one drive to go. Matthew Stafford throws it to Anquan Boldin, caught touchdown. I think it was about an 18-yard grab, and the Detroit Lions ended up winning that game. And that's just what it shows from these veteran wide receivers. Not the most exciting players, not the biggest yards, but you see it in every single sport. Every team needs to have that veteran presence. You see it with the Warriors when they have guys like Andre Iguodala who's out there. Not going to give you the best numbers, but he's got the players can always count on and go to. Like Steph Curry can always go to Andre Iguodala when in doubt. That's what you'll see from Danny Amendola. Now, obviously, he's only on offense, but he's a guy that Matthew Stafford could definitely rely on. Danny Amendola was the first free agent that the Detroit Lions actually signed. So a crazy eventful offseason. Detroit Lions brought in so much talent, whether it was Trey Flowers, Jesse James, through the draft, TJ Hockenson, whatever it was, Jelani Tavai, the Detroit Lions brought in plenty of weapons, but Danny Amendola is the first free agent that the Detroit Lions went out and signed, and he could have a huge impact for the Detroit Lions. Not in the stat sheet as much as on the field, because he's a leader guy that's going to take over and help out a lot of these young guys. The Detroit Lions have brought in tons of young guys, okay? When you look across the board, whether it's in draft or free agent players trying to make the team, Danny Amendola has that veteran leadership and that quality to really help out some of those young guys and teach him what he knows. And that's what I really like to see from Danny Amendola. And Matthew Stafford has been working with Danny Amendola. They've had to fix out a couple of kinks here because obviously with this being his first season with Matthew Stafford and then a new offense that they are both trying to learn, it's going to be a little dicey here and there, but they have been working, whether it's before practice or after practice, one-on-one time, working on routes and working together to make sure that chemistry is good to go for the season. And I think Matthew Stafford is really going to like this guy. I think you're going to see him in big moments step up. You're going to see really big grabs from him that aren't, maybe the highlight reel play, but it's going to be a solid catch that the Lions definitely need and a play that they need to make to win some games. And I think Danny Amendola is going to bring that to the Detroit Lions. Like I said, Matt Patricia already has a really good relationship with Danny Amendola. That's a big reason why the Detroit Lions brought him in. Now Matthew Stafford and Danny Amendola are growing that relationship together, and they're going to be a really nice duo to see during the season. So this may be Matthew Stafford's next favorite weapon. Not statistically, but as a guy that he can count on as a security blanket for the Detroit Lions 2019. I'm super excited to see what Danny Amendola can do for the Detroit Lions in 2019. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Again, if you guys are seeing this video, that's a good sign, especially if it's on DoseOfDion. If not, if you're seeing this somewhere else, thank you for being here. I love all the support. You guys have been amazing throughout this entire process. I don't even know when this video is going to go up. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, I can thank all of you guys for being here. If you're watching this video, thank you for sticking with me. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure this out. Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out.